when they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Good evening, and if you're just tuning in, you are listening live to 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 out of the beautiful city of New Orleans to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. And this is the thing at the foot of the bed, and I'm trying to get TikTok working. Give me 2 seconds here, guys. I'm getting better at this. There we go. We're all set. Anyways, I am one of your hosts, and my amazing friend and talented and gifted medium next to me. He will take over the second part of the housekeeping. I do the first part. My name's Lorilei Potvin. I'm a Canadian psychic medium. I'm also a crystal Reiki energy healer. I'm a Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher, and mentor, as well as registered nurse. I'm also an animal communicator, well-versed in near-death experiences, having had one as a toddler myself, and studied them professionally and personally for over 40 years, and extremely well-versed in the paranormal. I always say I didn't go looking for it. It found me. And what else do I want to tell you guys? Sorry, I'm looking at all this stuff. When you're producing and doing all this stuff and thinking ahead here, sometimes it gets the best of you. I guess I should make sure Instagram started. I think it did. Yep, good. That's the fun one. We got it because Facebook doesn't want to play nice. So we had to go to all these other platforms, but we're glad to have you here. So if you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends and family. There really is something for this, everyone on this network. It's been around for 25 plus years. And we stream multiple shows daily, 7 days a week. And when we're not live, the archive server kicks in and picks random shows over the last 25 plus years. And so we are streaming live on UPRN 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's not all just UFO and paranormal, just so you know that. We've got lots of new hosts, lots of new shows. And there's really is something for everybody here. I guess I should also tell you, I have a second show on the network. The Angel Rock on Monday nights from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on UPRN. That's the night that I have guests on that show. Dave and I talk enough, so we decided we don't do the guesty thing, right, Dave?
Yeah, they'd never get a word in.
Yeah, they wouldn't. So what else I want to tell you? Okay, so if you guys want to join the conversation, 80% of our audience, and we do broadcast with this network to every country in the world, believe it or not. I know I'm not going to keep these antlers on for long. I think they're going bye-bye. They're too heavy. Anyways, we do broadcast every country in the world, but 80% of our audience is audio only. So I always say, if you can't see us, you can't join the conversation. And we would love to have you join us. We have an incredible audience that pops in here for the lives. And they're very intelligent, ask great questions, very kind to people that just find our show or are new. Everybody's wonderful here. So we'd love to have you come and join the conversation. So how you're going to do that is, we're streaming to multiple platforms. We are streaming to my YouTube channel, which is The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin, David's YouTube channel, which is The Spirit Experience, the network YouTube channel, which is UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. We're also on our backup channel tonight because Facebook don't want to play nice. So we are on UFO Gods and Extraterrestrials. We're also streaming on Rumble under my channel, which is Mystique 1508. And as I always say, not a stripper name. It is actually from X-Men. My firstborn child was named after an X-Men character, believe it or not. The ex-hubby would only agree to the one name, Wolverine's real name. Anyways, we're also streaming to the networks UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio on Twitch. We're streaming on there. We're streaming to the Angel Rock 1508 on Instagram. Sometimes Instagram plays nice, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it'll go for 2 hours, sometimes only for an hour, but they do not integrate the chat here on Instagram. So I got to pop back and forth. So please don't think I'm forgetting you. I will let you know that if you're watching on Facebook in particular, and you notice that we haven't said hello or, acknowledged you in any way, please try one of the other channels, because we have no idea if we can't see your comments, and that does happen from time to time. We're also streaming to David's profile, which is Medium David Hanzel, I believe, right, Dave?
Yep.
Okay, and then we're also restreaming. Oh, TikTok. We are on TikTok. The Angel Rock, or I think it's the Angel Rock 1508, or under Lorilei Potvin. So hi, everybody on TikTok. I'm going to give Michelle Wilfong a shout out. She so graciously agreed. I just kind of added her and Dave as a mod. Well, Dave's busy with me right now, but Michelle does such an incredible job over there. So thank you, Michelle. And she has a really awesome TikTok channel, you guys. So check out her TikTok channel. She's got a haunted apartment and posts quite regularly on TikTok with some of the activity over there. Have I remembered everything? Oh, no, I didn't. See, I forgot something. If you want to watch us on TV, you can. The network has a TV channel. It is on Roku. You're going to go to the channel store, type in UFO space P as in paranormal. There's a drop-down list. We're about the third or fourth one down, and you're looking for UFO, Paranormal, and United Public Radio. And that's how you can watch us. And both of my show, The Angel Rock, and this show are very audience participative. So we will get to saying hello, but I'm going to let Dave take over the second part of things here.
Hey, you guys. Welcome, everybody who's coming in. We'll say hi to you in just a moment. My name is David Hanzel. I am a spiritual medium. I am also an intuitive channel. I do animal communications and a lot of stuff that Lorilei does as well.
Wow.
Yep. I'm also a near-death survivor as of 2015. I guess that's the best way to put it. That's the way I've been putting it, near-death survivor. I don't know. I would say a near-death experience had actually saved my life. So, also, I love the paranormal and the metaphysical and the creepy and the everything else. I am probably the most skeptical because people listen. If you ever hear me and Lorilei go back and forth, we don't mind. Just to let you know, we do disagree on stuff, and we are cool with that, because this isn't about somebody having the absolute truth. It's about hearing
or to be right. It's not to be right. We come from our
it's
own.
not about being right. I've come to the conclusion of a couple things where I thought no, but now I'm like, oh yeah, because you got to keep an open mind in this, so keep that in mind. Also, we do have a Facebook page. It is called The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel. After December, if you are in there, we will be doing probably some live readings a couple times a month in there, do lives in there. Also, while you're in there, you can see the videos, because if we play a video on the podcast here, Lorilei is kind and gracious enough to pop it into the group, so you can watch it there if you missed it on here. Plus, you can send any spooky stories you have. You can talk to other people who are like-minded like you. If you have pictures of anything scary or paranormal, it doesn't have to be scary, because paranormal is not always scary. But if you have anything paranormal, strange, go ahead. Feel free to post it in the group, and it's a safe space because it is a private group. And real quickly, because we keep forgetting to do this, I'm going to let Lorilei take back over and tell you something, and then she'll say hi to everybody. But if you ever want to get a hold of me, you can go to my website. theywhispertome.com is the only place where you can book a reading with me, as I do not DM people and solicit readings. Those are fakes, okay? So I'm going to give it back to Lorilei so she can tell you how to find her, and then we're going to say hi to everybody.
Yes, and if I always forget, but what we're going to do is, while we're talking and saying hi to everybody, remind me, Dave, if I forget, I'm going to run a banner across the bottom if you're watching, and it'll say how to contact Dave or how to contact me. But right now, the moment you can get a hold of me on facebook.com/The Angel Rock to book a reading. I do energy healing. I do teaching and mentoring. I haven't really advertised animal communication, but I may do that over the holidays if it's quieter. I've been talking to Julie Jean Bassett that hopefully, she said it's quieter over the holidays, so you might be able to look for us doing a few lives. But I might do some practice readings, which means I won't be charging people. Just
and that's we do that because I think I did before. I remember before I even started charging people for a reading, I think I had completed, I think it was like almost 300 mediumship readings. Some were very short, but I wanted to make sure that, it's a good thing to do. That's a good thing. Well,
it's just so that I get more practice in. it helps build our confidence. And as I always say, we're not 100% correct all the time either. We're human as well. And it's the way we interpret the messages from spirit. So yeah, that might be something I might do. And I know people are always looking for great animal communicators. So with that being said, you guys, if you want a great animal communicator,
I had a bunch of people ask me this week.
If you want a great animal communicator, I took my animal communication course with this person. She was on the Angel Rock recently. She's a friend of mine, and she's helped me with my own animals, and that's Julie Jean Bassett. She's also an incredible shamanic practitioner. I have had a life-changing session with her over the holidays. I'll probably be booking another one. You guys, this is a great opportunity. You know, it's gift-giving season. If you guys are looking for something to gift somebody and you're not really sure, but maybe they're, you know, they got their animals are their whole life. If you're an animal lover, you know what I'm talking about. I'm an animal lover. Dave's an animal lover. So check Julie Jean Bassett at juliejeanbassett.com, because I'm telling you, you guys, you will not be disappointed. And I'm not getting paid to say this. I'm not getting anything out of it except that I love Julie and I'd love to see her be super busy, because I'm telling you guys, you will not be sorry. So let's say hi to everybody. And then as we get talking, I will type that in. I should have thought of that before, but we can run a banner across the bottom. That's why we haven't been putting the background up. It just gets a bit busy. Yeah. So we'll put that across there, and I'll remind Dave and Ida, because we're supposed to do a station ID at the top of the hour, and lots of times I get talking and forget. So
station identification.
Yeah. So Julie Jean Bassett says hello, Lorilei, David, and everyone. Jennifer M. Hello, footies. Great to see you too. Great to see you as well. Ruth Cleaver. Hi from snowy Huron County. Well, hi from snowy Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. I was talking to Carrie Lynn Shellhorn on Sunday. I'd taken one of her courses. I mentioned on Monday night because we had a hangout together, and I didn't have a guest that night. They had to cancel, and I love doing shows just with all of you. And Carrie Lynn had run a course, and it was called Signs and Symbols While Grieving from Your Loved Ones. Fantastic course. But she asked, Lorilei, did you guys get the snow? I said, oh no, it's great. It's beautiful. Like, I was sitting out in just like a shirt. Oh yeah. Well, we just got a weather warning and a massive dump, and it is super cold here.
It's
so
cold.
I jinxed it. Michelle Wilfong says hello. And then we got Kelly saying hi to everyone. Let's see. Jackie Lane, greetings to all. Connie Martins, hi, Lorilei and David. Oh, Michelle, yes, I see you. I sent you a comment already on TikTok. Michelle said I'm heading over there now. Joanna Garfield McNally, good evening. I have not seen you in forever, so nice to see you here. And we got Howie Odell or Ed Odell. You guys, please check Howie out, or Ed Odell. He has the Riff Nation Network, and he supports all of our shows on UPRN here. He's fantastic. He has his own show, The Orion Effect, with the amazing Rhonda Harris, who's a friend, become a good friend, on Sunday night. So please check him out too at the Riff Nation Network. We have Kathy Hanley Little. She says hi, David and Lorilei. And Julie Jean Bassett said, yes, do it, Lorilei, about practicing some readings. Yes, I actually just came up with that as my mouth was moving. I didn't even think of that about the free readings, but that is the best way for any of you thinking about stretching your spiritual muscles or whatever it may be. It's a little scary the first time you do it. I used to do it years ago, and I just haven't had the time. But you know what? What better way to do it? Do it for free. And I'm telling you.
Yeah, because I do. Just on my TikTok lives, I probably do about 125 to 150 mini readings every week.
I should say that I don't do it, because I do it when I'm able to join you. I do join you on TikTok.
Yeah, because I do that. It's really important, you guys, even if you to always stretch that muscle. It's just like a muscle, like any other your body. You use it, you lose. You know, if you don't use it, you lose it. You know, it won't go away.
It doesn't scare you, right? Then it's really not challenging you. And yes, it will scare you, but once you start to do it, right? And you tell people you're new at this, you're just learning, and you know what? That's why you're out here. And I'm telling you, it's the old saying from what it was, I forget what the movie was called with Kevin Costner, but it's like, if you build it, they will come. I'm telling you, it's true. People will start to show up. It's crazy. So Howie jumped over to YouTube. Okay, let's see. Where are we? Everybody, see, I told you we have incredible people in the chat. They're all saying hi to one another. So Dave, Connie wants to know, David, will you be doing Facebook Lives?
I will. I'll be doing the Facebook Lives in my group. If anybody's listening, it's called the Spirit Experience. I will be. I started to do them a little bit. I'm going to go back to doing those after December. I'm going to go back to doing them regularly in my group at least once a week. And I'm also going to be running a mediumship circle for new mediums in there. It's totally free, but you got to be in my group in order to participate. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of stuff I'm doing after Christmas. Right now, I'm concentrating on some other stuff, but yeah.
Well, same as me. I have a whole outline for the course. I'm going to be teaching my first course. I've been talking about it for years. I'm just trying to find a good space. If I can't, we're just going to do it on Facebook if we have to. And I have Zoom, or there's Ring Central. There's a bunch of things. It will be figured out because I pretty well have the course all put together. So I think probably by the time Christmas settles, and I want to be able to have some printouts and some notes and things for you guys. So that's when I'll be going to domain name. But when I go live on my lives, I go live on my Facebook profile. And it's not because I don't love my groups, because I do have 2 groups. It's because they're closed. We don't get enough people in there. So I like to do it live so that everybody can see it and share it. And then it brings in more people, and the more the merrier. And Julie Jean Bassett says, I do free mini readings all the time for both humans and animals. And yes, you do. Yes, Reeve Kleber, thank you. Field of Dreams. That's the movie I was talking about. Cindy Simpson says, hello, everyone. Julie Jean Bassett says, wonderful, David, you were talking about. And Connie says, that will be great, Lorilei. Well, thank you. So, yes, so we have a whole bunch of stuff.
Did we say hi to Cindy Simpson?
I did. Here. I said hi, but that's good you check me, because sometimes I forget. And
my eyes went lower than yours stopped. I was like, wait.
Let's see. Let's see if we got we got Michelle Wilfong's doing an awesome job over here on TikTok. The only thing it shows, though, is comments, you guys. So if you want me to see you, hi, Alan, I see you've joined on TikTok. If you guys want to be part of this, please ask some questions in here, put some comments. We're not doing psychic readings, but we are talking about spooky, ooky kind of things tonight. Yes. But if you leave a comment, I will be popping back and forth from the TikTok live. I found out how to use the hack that I have to monitor comments. Instagram's quiet so far. It has been a couple Monday night it was too. So
Instagram is kind of a quiet place. But anyway, you guys, we got 3 things that we're going to try to touch subjects on tonight. One is mimics, which Lorilei knows more about mimics than I do. I know a little bit. But we'll talk about that for a little bit if you guys want to. We also wanted to talk about the UAP or UFO, whatever you prefer to call it, that was in Manchester, and now was it Manchester? It's in England, and then now they found them over Arizona, or so they're saying. And then the other one was maybe some Bigfoot stuff. Lorelei's got some clips. We'll just chat and see where it wants to go. If anybody wants to ask, throw any topics at us who are here in the peanut gallery in the footy section, please go ahead and feel free to put it out there, because Lorilei and I we'll run our mouths forever. So you can give us any topic and we'll find a way to hit it for you.
Okay, I think I got your website up here. We're going to save it. We're going to run it and see if it works for us. Hang on, Dave.
All right.
There we go.
Contessa Martin says, does anyone know any great ghost Christmas stories? Guess what? Just like last year, Lorilei and I will probably look some up and tell them on depending right before Christmas.
We're and then David made the wonderful discovery of using AI. So we may he or I, or maybe us together, will plug some stuff.
Yeah, I've gotten really good at it now, because I was doing it last year. I was doing AI stories we were telling on here, but now I'm pretty good with
so
AI.
Probably because Dave doesn't leave me out when he plugs everything in. So David, I'll leave that one for Dave maybe. But oh, Connie says, perfect. Thank you. And I'm not trying to plug anybody, but I'm going to. On Monday, December 23rd, I have her on 4 times at least a year. Raula Ventura, she's an author. She writes about the strange, the unusual, the paranormal, mermaids, werewolves, vampires, ghosts, you name it. And she'll be coming on for the solstice, but I think all I had left was the 23rd in December when she picked. So I know she'll have a lot of spooky ghost stories and legend and lore as well. So that'll be cool. So
you guys, it looks like I'm jerking right now and stopping and going by me. It might just be because of the snow and that wind.
I know what I forgot to tell you. I forgot to tell you about this. So my friend Augie Nost, he has Broadcast Team Alpha that he co-hosts with Nori Love, and they're over on YouTube. I think they broadcast on Facebook too. That guy is absolutely fascinating. I've had him many times on the Angel Rock. But I remember when we were talking about time travel, and I said my friend Augie has a time travel machine. It's called the Chronovisor. He posted something on Facebook today. So I downloaded the pictures. I downloaded a little bit about that. So that's something else we could probably show as well. So what do you want to do?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Why, you can't hear you?
No, I can hear me, but my camera is being really funny. I didn't know if it was me. I'm checking my internet connection and it looks fine. So, okay, just making sure.
Okay, I found all kinds of stuff. Bizarre Bob had some pretty good videos. So where do you want to start, Dave? Do you want to start with the mimics? You want to start with the alien stuff? What do you want to start with?
Oh, goodness gracious. I don't care where we go. I love all the subjects.
Okay.
Let's hit mimics. Are you there?
Okay, yeah, I'm here. I was off camera probably grabbing something. Did I look like I disappeared? Here I am.
No. I just meant, are you ready?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to grab YouTube because, okay, so I really like this girl. Her name is Lorilei, and she's on TikTok and YouTube, and she does these compilations off of TikTok a lot. Sorry, guys. I got to mute it. Thank you. I have no idea why Super Soldier Talk keeps coming up. It always does this video. Whenever I use my computer, it's so weird. Okay, where do I want to go? I want to go to my history is where I want to go. That way I'll find it the easiest instead of trying to find it. So give me a sec, guys, while I find it. No, we don't want all the YouTube shorts I watched today, but thank you. Hang on. Oh, I found Loey. Good. Okay, this is the one to have open. So let me pull it up. Present. Bring it to the stage. So she pretty spooky, I thought, kind of stories. Actually, hang on, I got a better pause her. Oh, actually, she's going to go through her advertisement anyways, I think. Hang on. There, I think that's where she's done.
It's a real long advertisement.
Did it come up, Dave? No.
Yeah.
Hello, Heidi Gall. Well, welcome. Nice to see you. She says, hello, beautiful souls, and Lorilei and David, much love. That's what that means. Okay, so hopefully we don't get an advertisement. So let's see.
Videos from a user named Dave the Bearded Menace. An amazing name for an amazing creator who I'm
going to stop it just for 1 minute, just so you guys know. I am going to have to stop it every now and then so that we follow the fair use guidelines. Let's give you a little bit of background. Lorilei put this video out, and it's a bunch of TikTok videos of people talking about mimics. So for people who might not know what a mimic is, it is rumored to be a spirit that either can mimic a voice or appears as something it's not. Now, I experienced something like this. I never called it a mimic in my old house. I called it the female shapeshifter. And it was mainly with voices. I think my eldest had seen her a couple times, but like I would hear my boys calling me, yet my boys, nobody was home. I was the only one home. My boys were at their dad's and sounded just like them. Or the boys would say, Mom, what did you want? And I'd say, I didn't call you. And it can get pretty darn creepy. So these are some instances of people sharing their mimic stories. We hadn't talked about them. So we're
real quickly. To those of you who sometimes hear like you heard a voice calling you or something like that in your sleep, don't think that that's always a mimic. That could literally be a spirit trying to just say your name. So that's different.
No. But what? Sorry, maybe I didn't explain it well enough. But it's somebody that you know, like that isn't there, that you're gonna tell from the videos what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they're talking about somebody in life mimicking someone in life, not someone in the other side.
Oh, yeah, I think that's an important point that I forgot to mention, Dave. Thank you. You were absolutely
that's okay.
right. Somebody you know to be alive, but isn't home, and you know they're not home. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, you'll see, because the guy that's talking in here, they don't know this spirit. So it doesn't, but you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to confuse people. So, but these are all different examples. Hi, Shannon Casey. Say hello to Sean. She said, hello, friends. You'll see what I'm talking about, because it's, I'll probably confuse people. So we'll just play a few for clips here. So hang on. Oh, wait, I went to the wrong one. Give me a sec here. I got so many tabs open. Okay, hang on. So
I stumbled across one of his videos talking about his experiences growing up in a haunted house went viral. Dave has a plethora of scary stories on his account, paranormal experiences, but there's a reason why this one about the mimic stands out. Dave says that the mimic was just that. It would mimic people's voices. I mean, to a T. He says it was like if somebody was watching the TV at like 5%. You would hear what sounded like someone else's voice, but just quite enough probably that you were like, did I really just hear that?
Sometimes it sounds like it's in the next room next to you, but it's still at that very low value. Even if someone was like screaming, it sounded very low, like, hey, help, like very, very low. I don't know really where it came from.
Nobody
was
there.
Already in the house we moved in, but I do have a feeling it manifested the night my sister saw the old woman in her bedroom.
Now you, like myself, are probably wondering, old woman in the bedroom, what is the sister seeing? Don't worry, we'll get to that. Kind of put that off to the side for now. One day, Dave's mom and her friend are standing outside and they're just talking about work. They both work in retail. They're discussing retail life. When they hear what sounds like a voice repeating everything that they're saying, but in a mocking way, almost the way that like a kid would do it.
Best way I could describe it is my mom would say something like, hey, how was your day? And it would literally sound like, from the back of the garage. And they were hearing this and they're like, what the hell is that? So as two Latino women who are fearless, what did they decide to do? They decided to go investigate, like they're thinking, oh, someone's in the yard. So they heard it clear as day, someone mimicking every single time they said something. And when they went to the back of the garage, nothing. There was like nothing there. And they're like, well, it's late. It's like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Maybe we imagine it was a long day at work. And then they would hear from now the front of the garage, like just mocking them every single time they said something. And they went to the front of the garage to check it out. Now, you could say it was being a distraction because my sister was by herself upstairs with the old woman. And my mom and her friend didn't go back into the house until they heard my sister scream and then describe what she saw.
Our poster says that in this particular instance, what pulled the two women out of trying to figure out what was going on with this voice was the sound of his sister screaming upstairs for their mother because she just saw an old woman in her bedroom. Dave says he's not sure if the mimic came with the house, if it was something that was already attached to them, or if it came with the old woman from the forest that night. So let's talk about the old woman, which I'm going to put in the category of a mimic because it seems like it's sort of intertwined with this story. It sounds very mimic-like as well. Dave says that at the time, this was in the 90s, his sister was working at a local 24-hour gas station nearby, about a mile down the road. At this time, he and his family didn't have a car to get from A to B, so they pretty much walked everywhere. So one day, it's late into the night / early into the morning, his sister is walking home from a shift. And on her way back to the home, his sister starts hearing what sounds like voices coming from the woods.
And my sister was hearing voices in the forest, particularly voices calling her name. For the sake of the story, we will call my sister Marianne. So there's, she's been hearing Marianne, just all these voices from the forest. She asked my mom and her family friend, do you guys hear that? And they're like, no, we don't hear a thing. So she ignored it and kept on walking. And as she got away from the wooded area, the voices dissipated.
Now, Dave's sister had walked home with his mother and her friend. And so they kind of break off. They're standing in the yard and they're talking about retail, where they would then experience the mimic. While his sister, Mary Ann, heads into the house. And when she's going into the house, she's going through the living room. She's about to go upstairs. And she notices that their family cat is like pissed about something. Like, family cat is seeing something it doesn't really like, specifically in the sister's bedroom.
She walks into the living room and she's about to go up the stairs to her bedroom, and she's our old family cat, our beloved cat Pencha, sitting at the top of the stairs. And she's just staring into my sister's bedroom. And my sister's like, "Hey, Pencha, come down here. What are you staring at?" And the cat would not break eye contact with whatever
Get Ontario farm to table goodness with a custom package of grass-fed beef.
To do this, we'll just pause it 1 sec here. So, just to be clear, and you see what you think, Dave, because I think you made a really good point at the beginning of this when we were talking about mimics. The voice at the beginning that was mimicking whatever the mother and the friend were saying, I would say that's a mimic. But to me, and there's not too much left of this part of the story, the old woman sounds more like a spirit to me. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's a mimic. I think it's a spirit, because they didn't.
I wouldn't put the old woman as, but the next guy I'm going to show you, it's still creepy. He's got more stories that add on to this. Like, I don't want to
tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, just so I understand. Because I don't know. Like I said, I don't know tons about mimics. I don't know tons, but to me, from what I do know, so a mimic is something that will take something living, like if me and Lorilei were in the kitchen at her house talking, and all of a sudden, we heard Lorilei's voice coming out of something else. That to me would be kind of like a mimic. Or they're saying that too, sometimes a mimic can take the form of somebody. Yeah, it can take the form of somebody too.
Okay, I have a perfect example that just came to me talking.
Okay.
In my previous home, and I've told this story many times, and both my partner Del and I are night people, and in my old home, our bedroom was in the basement. He went upstairs to the kitchen. Lots of stuff would happen in the kitchen. And he was making a sandwich, and all of a sudden he came flying down the stairs and said, "Did you just run up the stairs and hit me twice on the shoulder, really hard on the left shoulder?" And I go, "No. I've never hit anybody, first. Second of all, why would I run upstairs and hit you? And thirdly, you have hearing of somebody that wears hearing aids on level 1000, basically. You would have heard me." I said, "Why would you ask me something like this?" And he goes, "Because I was making my sandwich." So he had his head, facing the counter, and the cupboards are up here. All of a sudden he says he gets hit twice on the left shoulder super hard. He said his head actually hit the cupboard. So he spun around. He said it was the exact replica of me. My hair, my clothing, everything. That would be a mimic. So he didn't.
Or could that also be a doppelganger?
I just was going to add that.
Okay.
But there's a different connotation with a doppelganger versus a mimic. Now, we've never been able to distinguish the two. Doppelganger can have a lot more darker lore about a doppelganger. When you see your exact, I didn't see it, he saw it. So if you supposedly see your exact replica of yourself, there's quite a bit of legend and lore behind a doppelganger. I've had other people say it was a mimic, because it can be physical, but it can also with the voice. Like the next one I'm going to show you with this Jordan. And I don't care what people say. I believe this kid, because we have had crazy stuff happen with voices. Like I said, something looking like me.
Hi Odell left a comment about the video. He said that I'm starting to sound like a hag. Well,
no, he said she.
I know. I was making a joke.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I understand what Because
So
when
I don't
we were
agree.
talking,
I don't,
that comment came up.
yeah, I don't think the old lady was that. He has more stories that go with this. I don't want to play your whole video tonight. We'll end up using the whole show for that. But it was an interesting kind of start. But the gentleman in the middle, and then the last one, this guy that's telling the story, I believe him. It's a longer video, but you guys, it's about this old tree house and their house that was built on an Indian burial ground, and the experiences this gentleman had. And you can watch him. Like, apparently he was on TikTok live while he was recording this, and the hair on his arm starts to stand up as he's telling about it. Like, I don't know too many people that can do that at will. So it was pretty intense.
I like what Howie's saying too about that hag. There's a lot of folklore that goes behind that as well. We might talk about that one day.
Well, let's finish the story. There's not too much, and then
There's so much. Wow, we could talk about. Okay.
Oh, sorry, guys. I muted.
There was something up with the house. So my sister was.
Let me put it back just a wee bit here. Oh, of course. Now it's going to give me these stupid commercials. I'm telling you guys, that's the only reason I don't like to play YouTube videos. I usually download them, but I didn't have time. Okay, skip.
My sister's like, hey, Pencha, come down here. What are you staring at? And the cat would not break eye contact with whatever she was looking at in my sister's bedroom. And I believe at this point in time, it was a long time ago, but I believe in this point in time, we already knew there was something up with the house. So my sister was very nervous to go upstairs and see what the cat was staring at. So she walks up the stairs, looks at the cat's still staring just hard into her bedroom. And my sister looks in her bedroom, and in the middle of the bedroom, her bedroom, she sees a little old lady just hunched down, like kneeling down in the middle of her bedroom. So my sister obviously is frozen in panic, and she notices like the lady has no hands. It's just nubs where the hands would be. And my sister's staring for a moment, and all of a sudden the lady just kind of turns and looks at my sister. So my sister obviously freaks out, and the lady just books it towards my sister, screaming at her in Spanish, "It is all your fault. It is all your fault. Todo es tu culpa. Todo es tu culpa." My Spanish sucks nowadays. And my sister obviously closes her eyes and covers her face. After she lowers her hands, the lady's gone. The lady is no longer there. And she hears the cat hissing. She looks at the cat, and the cat is hissing, tail wide and everything, at my sister. So, of course, what does my sister do? She screams bloody murder, runs downstairs, wakes up the whole house, and basically tells us what happened.
What do you mean there was a woman hunting?
Okay, so that, like I say, the reason why I thought it might be good to show this, it shows, that there's two differences here. To me, the mimicking, like being almost mocked with the voice, yet you can't see where the voice is coming from, kind of thing. Mimic to me means, right, when you mimic someone, you copy them, basically.
Yeah. I like the story. I like the story that he told, whether it's true or not, who knows, but I do like the story that he told. But I agree with you, Lorilei, that is not mimic. No.
But the first part, I think, with his mom
could have been.
His sister, or his mom and her friend talking, and it sounded like they were almost being mocked, this voice that was there. So that part, I would say, is mimicking. The one that kind of freaked me out, and I believe this kid, you guys see what you think. Maybe you won't, but I believe him because I've heard of stories like this. This is Jordan. They're all on TikTok, so hang on. She had to restart. I think her battery died on her. Okay, why are you spinning? Stop spinning.
Yeah. Okay, it is the next day. I apologize about that, and I apologize for the lighting now. My camera battery charger died. I didn't realize it wasn't charging my camera batteries. Had to get a new one. It was a whole thing. Anyway, back to Talk Stories. I actually stumbled across a different video of this user, Jordan Smichael, and we'll talk about that video in a minute. But then I realized he also has a mimic story on his account. Jordan said that this is a story he genuinely thinks he just blocked out after it happened, and for good reason.
I thought it was
is terrifying. So Jordan comes home from school one day and he's pretty much home alone. Everyone else is out of the house for one reason or another in his family home. Now there's a strict no gaming on weekdays policy in Jordan's house, but he's home alone. He gets out his computer. He's going to play his game. He's in his room. He's playing his game when suddenly he hears what sounds like something dropping right outside of his door. And he kind of ignores it. He knows he's home alone until he hears the sound again. And this is where the story takes a terrifying turn.
Anyways, fast forward, I'm chilling on my bunk bed, and all of a sudden, I hear something drop from outside of my room. So I immediately think that it's my older brother coming back home from practice, and I continue doing what I was doing. About 3 seconds later of not acknowledging this noise, I hear something else drop, and I decided to yell, "What are you doing?" Because keep in mind, if my older brother was in there dropping or breaking stuff, I'm not about to get the blame for it. Now, tell me why I hear a woman's voice go, "making food." So I remember in that moment, I kind of froze for a bit. And you know when your heart starts beating uncontrollably and it feels like it's literally like popping out of your chest? That's what it felt like. So I remember getting up, climbing down from the top of my bunk bed and walking to my door. Now, keep in mind, this whole entire time, I did not open my door. So the door's closed and I remember yelling, "What are you cooking?" So my mom could hear because I was curious. And plus my mom, she never usually cooks this early in the afternoon unless she's cooking like a big meal. So I wanted to know what she was cooking. So I remember the voice or my mom didn't say anything for like a while. And then all of a sudden blurts out, "I'm cooking spaghetti." The voice of my mom was like freaky. It was very monotoned. I don't know. It was just like, it wasn't like, it didn't sound real. So I remember saying one last thing, and this is where things got insane. So I ended up yelling, "I don't smell anything." And tell me why literally 3 seconds later, the voice I once heard from afar is now right at my door. So I remember it laughed and it said, "Open your door and you'll be able to smell it."
This is terrifying. He's terrified. He locks his bedroom door and alarmingly, he hears what sounds like someone breathing on the other side. He's like, my mom is not acting like this. Like, this is not something my mother would do. He goes to his window, looks outside, and sure enough, his mom's car is not in the driveway.
My first instinct is to go up on my bed, grab my phone, and immediately call my mom, and that's exactly what I did. As I'm dialing, I started hearing my doorknob like moving, like it was jingling as if like they were gonna open it, but because I locked it, they could not open it. So I immediately hop off my bed, I run to my door, and I grab the knob so that, you know, it's not turning anymore. My mom, she finally picks up. So she answers the call, yelling at me, telling me how she's almost home, and I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, that's the mom that I know. Not this like weird, calm, monotoned voice that I'm hearing. So I confirm out loud that she's on her way. So I go, "So you're on your way home?" And like I hang up just to indicate to this person or thing that I know that they're not who I think that they are. Now, this is where things got even more crazier because as soon as I hung up that phone, my door, whatever was behind it, starts immediately banging on it. So my heart drops to my stomach and I start screaming. The voice keeps yelling, "Open the door, open the door." And I'm still screaming in fear. I remember at one point the banging stopped and the voice started crying. I remember it was a soft cry and it was pleading to me. It was pleading that I open the door because it wanted to see me. And I don't know if it had me like under a spell or something, but something in me was telling me to like open the door. Like I had that urge to open.
Of course, never fails. Guys, sorry about this. This is why I don't like YouTube. Hang on. Oh, I muted. I'm sorry.
That I shouldn't, and I didn't. So about
I'm going to go
5
back
minutes.
just a wee bit. Sorry. Okay.
Keeps yelling, "Open the door, open the door." And I'm still screaming in fear. I remember at one point the banging stopped and the voice started crying. I remember it was a soft cry and it was pleading to me. It was pleading that I open the door because it wanted to see me. And I don't know if it had me like under a spell or something, but something in me was telling me to like open the door. Like I had that urge to open the door, but thank goodness I did not. Like I knew that I shouldn't and I didn't. So about 5 minutes of just hearing these crying, more banging on the door, I finally hear my mom's car beep outside. Suddenly the crying, knocking, and doorknob moving stopped.
After all of this, finally, Jordan's mother comes home and she had been out actually getting him more reeds for his clarinet.
It doesn't matter with the last part of this, but that is something I would call more a mimic. mimicked
It's a
his
good
mom's
story.
voice.
Yeah, it's a good story. I was looking. I was investigating Mr. Jordan Smirkle while I was listening to him.
Okay. Well,
But that's a
Heidi,
really good. That would be what you said. That would be more of what a mimic would be.
that would be a mimic, but they can appear in a physical form as well. Like I said, I've experienced the voice. My kids have experienced it. Dell's experienced a physical representation. Again, could be called a doppelganger as well, but there is a lot more darkness behind what a doppelganger is versus, well, mimics I don't think are a positive thing. So Heidi Gall says, oh, hell no. And Jennifer M says, oh, scary. Let's see. Kelly says, I'd be out the window. I was yelling at my phone going, don't call your mom, call the police. And Heidi said, Howie says, I do like this because more and more of this culture, dark-skinned people are talking more and more about this is good for all of us. Well, it is. Don't think that it matters what the color of your skin is. And I know that wasn't your point, Howie, but we're all experiencing, if you're going to experience paranormal activity. And then Shannon says a commercial, yeah, gave your heart a break. Yes, me too. But that's YouTube for you too, putting commercials in. And Howie says their culture in the past saw about you've seen about them talking about paranormal would bring evil. And I think it just depends on your belief systems and what you've been raised with, right? So that's part of it as well. But that there's a really interesting, like I said, I cut these off. These are just like first little parts. There's more to their story. Like the first guy had some pretty creepy stuff, but went on for years with this house.
Wow.
And then the last guy, holy cow, about this tree house and just creepy, weird stuff. Like it was built on a native burial ground. The neighbors were experiencing activity, not just their house. And it's quite a story. Well, this guy, I have to really give him props because he felt a real calling. They had moved out of the house. And when he moves out, the little boy that I don't think was a little boy that he encounters when they're moving shows up again and says, bye, you're leaving. Now he's an adult and he shared this story with TikTok and people are invested. He decides to go back to his old homestead to see if the tree house is still standing. And it is. And I thought he did such a beautiful thing, the way he kind of ended it. He basically sent love and blessings to the spirits there. And I thought he had a beautiful way of looking at what he had gone through rather than trying to make it really, really spooky. So it was kind of nice. So if you guys, it's from Loie Lane's channel. It's called the 13, I'll post it in the group too. 13 Scariest Mimic TikTok Stories Trending Right Now. I think she posted this about 8 days ago on YouTube. But she posts their names of the channels down below because there is a African-American woman actually in there. I think her name is Auntie.tan.b. She's got some crazy stories, including as a mimic in one of them. This house they were in, the mom wouldn't even sleep in the bedroom with the dad. The dad didn't care. Didn't matter what he encountered. Well, the little girl, as a little girl, she's now a grown-up. She goes into her parents' bedroom, well, I guess her dad's bedroom, and they were having crazy activity in this house too. And she was playing with her parents' stereo. And I guess there was a big mirror on the wall right behind the stereo. And as she's playing with it as a little girl and she looks up, she said it looked like her mother, but she had no clothes on. And so she's like, what? She said she was only about, I think, 8 years old. And she turns around, her mom's not there. And she looks and her mom's still there in the mirror with no clothes on. And so she runs to tell her mother, and her mother just said, I told you not to go in the room. That's why I don't go in the room. So they just kind of tried to pretend like nothing happened. Like that's the way they dealt with stuff. But they went through a lot of activity and stuff like that too. So you can see all that on this video here. I just wanted to show a few. Has anybody in the chat encountered a mimic or what a doppelganger would be? How about you, Dave? Have you encountered anything?
Never a mimic. I mean, I was just I'm not going to say it out loud on here, but I was just looking up that person who was just telling the story. And not that that story was fake, but he's known for, he's been literally identified as fraudulent in most of his videos, and they've been taken down.
So, but the point is, okay.
Not the story, but it's about the mimic, but I love the story. I just always look because for some reason I believe in the mimic thing. I believe there are people who see mimics. I really do. I just didn't believe his story because as he was telling it, I'm like, what you're selling, I'm not buying. There's something wrong with it. And I was looking up some stuff on him. I'm like, aha. Not that he's lying, but he's literally embellishes a bunch of stories. He's got 4.2 million followers. Most of his stuff are all story time, which I get it. But I like that guy, that story earlier. I love that story with the old woman.
He has more stories. I just picked it, and people found his story scary. Now, whether he embellished it or not, I can show you. But then again, you may think it's fake. But on Bizarre Bob, there is a guy who's been having activity. I have a whole bunch of.
I believe there are people who see.
Just let me finish.
I'm just saying. I believe there are people who see mimics. Literally do see mimics because I can't tell somebody what they saw.
I've been through it before.
Yeah, Lorilai's been through stuff like that. So whatever we call it, I'm just saying I like the stories. I really wish we could get something though concrete or on tape. Would that not be cool?
Well, I can play the EVP from Halloween 2017 of me calling in live. It's not a mimic, but it certainly sounds like something from the House of Slytherin.
Oh, no, I believe that stuff. I'm just saying, like, as a mimic, I wish, like, we could get something clear as a mimic. Doppelgangers, I've saw proof of doppelgangers. You got proof of doppelgangers. And the EVPs that sound like the voices and all that. The mimics, though, that's the one that gets me. I'm looking for a real credible thing on mimics because when you said that today, I started looking up some stuff. And unfortunately, everything I came by wasn't that good. But there was, I'm going to find it too for next time. There was a girl that was telling a story and I thought to myself, I was watching her. I'm like, this girl is not lying. She literally, you could see terror in her eyes when she was telling.
Well, the thing with a mimic too is it's not something that happens with regularity with most people. Like, for example, for myself, if I think my children were calling me my previous home, right, I'm not going to turn on the camera. And I know that's not what you're saying, but I didn't know if it was like, I had to stop and think, wait, my kids aren't here. And then you don't hear it again. And some of the language in that female's mouth that came out was incredible. Nobody there, but the voice, like I'm telling you. And it wasn't just my family that experienced this activity. There were other people. And like Heidi says herself, my daughter and I have heard each other's and my granddaughter's voice. Yeah, like it does happen. And where I was going with Bizarre Bob, now you may call fake on this, but the guy reported that he's been having paranormal activity and he filmed. Now again, it could be fake. That's the problem nowadays. You just
it's hard.
Trust everyday regular stuff. The cabinet is shaking. You can tell he's scared when he's filming this. And he finally, I was so worried this thing was going to burst open when I looked at it, was watching it, and he pulls it open one way, nothing, but he finally pulls the other door open. It's like a wardrobe, and all that's moving is the hangers. There's nothing in there. So,
tell me, let me tell you something and tell me what you think, Lorilei. Because I was thinking about this now.
Okay.
When the house where I saw the little girl, the ghost little girl, there's something that I wish I could get my mom on the phone. Mom, tell these guys. She'll go, oh, I hated that. I guess maybe that's what a mimic is. Did you know when I used to leave to go to work and I said the ghosts were always really, when I'd left, they would like bother my family, literally. And my mom used to always say that, she said, she'd always say something about telling something. She yelled up to her. I called me upstairs in that room and like at 10 o'clock at night and say, you answered back or whatever. And I was like, no, Mom, I was at work. So she has had.
Your mom's had it done too.
Yeah. My mom said that she's had some of these spirits. They would sound like me. when I was gone, because she used to always say that. She goes, I'm just hearing things all the time. I'm like, well, maybe you are, or maybe maybe someone's imitating. Maybe that's
what it is, if you think what the word mimic means, right? To copy, if you will,
to copy.
basically, or imitate. So it would be like, that's why I wouldn't say that that old lady in the first part of the story, she had more, or sorry, he had more stories, because his wife had experienced some things in that house when they were boyfriend and girlfriend. Like there are 3 or 4 parts to these different parts of the stories. And again, I guess we all got to use discernment. And if you feel into it, to me, I like to take people at face value, unless it's really, really, really obvious. I don't go out to prove people, because I really have the belief that truth always reveals itself. People that tell lies have to remember the lies they've told. Exactly. If there's truth to tell, you don't have to remember it, because you know it. You know what the truth is. And I've had people do it to me. I've talked about it on this show before. I have had people call me an attention seeker and I was lying. And then all of a sudden, because our episode got featured on TV, all of a sudden everybody believed us. I mean, there were people that believed me, don't get me wrong, but all it takes is for somebody with a bit of influence to say that person's, I told you, internet satellite goldfish I was suffering from with this jackass that I dealt with. And I'm sorry, he was. And I mean, that was my only community I had to support me. And he went, I didn't tell everybody what he did to me. He did. And I have never felt so alone. When you're going through something that you don't understand why it's happening, you're trying to learn about it, trying to understand why this is happening. And you finally built a bit of a community where you can talk about these weird things and hear people's perspective and what do they think. And so that's why I guess I'm a little bit sensitive about trying to call someone a fake, because I think if they're faking, you're going to know.
Yeah, you are going to figure it out. You guys, anybody who's watching, do you have this, Lorilei? This took me a long time to get.
Quit rubbing it in. You know how hard I tried to find that book, and it costs a fortune now.
No, yes, this one is called the Encyclopedic Psychic Dictionary. Have you guys ever heard of it? Mm-hmm. I heard about this from a gentleman in England. I guess he's like, every psychic owns one. And I'm like, oh, I don't. And so I went out and I got it. And I know why. This thing has every term.
It's an excellent book.
Yeah.
But it costs a fortune now to buy.
Oh, yeah. I was going to look up Mimic and see if it has
look
something.
It up in there, Dave.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to see if it has something on here.
Well, Christopher, you say imitation is a sign of flattery. I can tell you what we went through in our previous home. That was not flattery. Oh, Heidi says she's heard of that book, and she's talking about, she said she agrees and resonates with what I was sharing. She said one experience while you're looking that up, Dave, that has her thinking a lot about was one night she heard plain as day, then woke her daughter up, and she also heard an old-time 50-ish children's TV show, and you always wondered. You think it's in the Google bookstore? If anybody's got a link to it, isn't that the one you sent to me, Dave? Don't you remember? And we looked it up and it was out of print. Is that the one? Because I got a picture of that. I'm positive I do.
Did you know Mimic's not even in here?
No?
Out of everything, yeah. Is there? What else maybe would they call a Mimic?
Doppelganger. Try Doppelganger.
Let me look up Doppelganger and see if there's
Yeah, try Doppelganger and see.
This is good, you guys. This is like the Encyclopedia Britannica, but all the words are, everything is from Everything Psychic Everywhere. But they did. I don't know when they stopped production of this book. Mimic could be something newer than the book. That could be.
Okay, Heidi, if you find it, feel free to send it to me and I'll post it in the group for people. Because I remember when David pulled that out, this was like a couple of years ago, Dave, because I saw that picture. I took a picture of it and we were looking. It was out of print. I couldn't find it. And
I found mine used. That's why.
I know you did. And I don't know if you remember this. Remember? And I was looking it up on Amazon.
Find it. Yeah, I couldn't find you one either because I remember I looked for you too.
And it was really expensive. I think it was on Amazon, but we're talking I think it was hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, there's a brand new one.
Yeah. Yeah, Heidi, if you find it, that would be great. Because I have It's actually split into 2 apps now, but it's Scribed. It's SCRIB as in boy, D as in dog.com. And Everand is split into the audiobooks and the books. That is the best app I've ever had. And no, I don't get, again, advertising or anything for it. You get 30 days free to check it out. It has free sheet music. It has podcasts. It has magazines. Its document section is out of this world. It's got audiobooks. It's got ebooks and a lot of things that are out of print you can find on there. And it's, I think, $8.99 American. It works out to about $12 a month. I'm telling you, I swear by that app. And the reason why is because if I find a book that I'm using a lot, then I've already been able to read it, know I'm going to use it, and go out and make the purchase.
Oh my gosh. Doppelganger and that other mimic all points back in this dictionary. You know how it tells instead? They're all going back to astral projection.
Oh.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go down the rabbit hole on that.
Dave, Heidi wants to know what the exact name of it is and who wrote it.
Oh, the name of the book is The Encyclopedic Psychic Dictionary by June G. Bletzer, PhD.
Yeah, because I'm positive I have a picture of that.
Yeah.
In my, this was a couple of years ago when we were looking, Dave.
Yeah, it was. Oh, you might as well do station identification while I put this back.
Okay. Everybody, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 FM out of New Orleans, Louisiana, to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. And this is The Thing at the Foot of the Bed. I'm one of your hosts, Lorilei Potvin, and my amazing friend and gifted medium and co-host is David Hanzel. So there he is. I'm looking it up. Encyclopedia. Are you going to give me that word? Let's see. No, you're not.
It's a really great book. I mean, there's literally so many terms in there. And I just went through it in a doodlebug. Do you know what a doodlebug is?
I've heard of them, but I don't know. You'd have to describe it.
Well, in the psychic dictionary, it just said, I did not know this, you guys. This is the very first for me. It said dowsing rod or divination or something, a tool you're using for divination. It's called a doodlebug.
I've never heard that before.
I don't either, but I guess it makes sense. What you got there, it's, the doodlebug. You can pretty much call anything a doodlebug.
I see if I got the book cover. Dave might have to take a screenshot. I thought I had it in here. I was pretty sure, but I don't see it.
I know I was trying to find the thing at the foot of the bed for you too, an original copy.
Oh, I do have a link. Here, I'm going to share it with, I don't even know if it'll still work. I thought I had a photo. It's in my ebook file because I was looking for it. And now it's going to take forever to post. It's probably, oh wait, is it posting? Come on, post.
Yeah,
post.
I've referred, hi David. I've referred back to that book many times when I've listened to, like I just intake. I'm like an information. I'm bringing as much information I can from all over the place. Me and Lorilei always talk about that. Never learn from one person, learn from everyone. And when sometimes somebody will say something, I'll be like, I'm not familiar with that. And I'll go look it up and see. And I'm like, oh, that's what it is. So it's a really interesting book because some of the words that you hear in like metaphysical language and all that may not be in a regular dictionary. I don't know.
Oh, I did find a copy of it. So you know what? That's not the book. You have another book. If it's not that one, it's another psychic book you have. I remember having this conversation. I actually did find a copy of this book. I do have a copy. I didn't even know I do.
Was it raw?
Nope. It had to do, you were showing me the Encyclopedic Psychic Dictionary, and it was another type of psychic or maybe magic or something with that.
Huh.
I remember
I got a ton of books over here. So
I know it was something like the Encyclopedic Psychic Dictionary. It was like that, but you found it in a secondhand store and it was out of print. I remember we were looking for it because it's got, mine has 898 pages. I forgot I had a copy of this. I forget what it was. Well, if we can't find it this week, Dave, we'll look again because this was a couple of years ago. I remember we had this conversation.
Oh, is this it?
I'm looking right now. Let's see what this one is. And I probably saved it. Look.
wasn't the thing at the foot of the bed.
The Dawning International Encyclopedic Psychic Dictionary. Yep, I think that's the one, because the one I have, I think, was different. No, it's the same. So maybe I'm wrong, but I'm telling you, I remember you having this book and it was incredible. And maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. We'll take a look. We'll find it.
Oh, wait. Oh, the Astro. Well, I do got the the astrology dictionary too. So.
No, it was one that's out of print that you got at a secondhand store, and you got it for such a good price. And it was like, it was almost $1,000. I remember on Amazon. It was almost out of print. We'll find it. We'll find it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got 2 editions, both 27. Maybe there's 2 editions. Yeah, yes. A couple of years ago. But anyway, by the way, if you do anything paranormal, metaphysical, medium, or anything, I highly suggest the book. If anything, for the section on astral, there is so much. There's astral hallucinations, there's astral projections, there's astral this and that and the other thing. And it's, because like DMT, when people use DMT, your pineal gland makes DMT. And when you're going towards something and you love it, like you're excited about doing something like that, your body makes DMT. And it also makes it when you sleep. And because apparently DMT opens up you to portals. So that's why when you sleep, you can astral travel. Your body makes it naturally. But some people, and I'm not against it, people can do what they want. They go and they learn how to use DMT for something else, another way. And apparently they have, I guess I haven't heard anything terrible from it, but I've never wanted to do it.
With DMT?
I'm just going to stick with my own DMT and leave it at that.
Yeah, I know people that swear by it. Okay, I found the clip of what landed at Manchester.
Oh, cool. That was cool.
We're almost there. Okay, hang on. Let me go back to me here so I don't end up putting.
And thank you earlier. Lorilei sent me that video and I started watching it. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to have time to watch this whole thing before we go on because it's like 2 hours. But I noticed underneath she said, clip starts at 52
minutes.
I
gave you the exact timing.
I'm like, cool, Lorilei. Thank you.
No, I wasn't going to make you watch. You know what I do though? I watch my videos on 2x speed. Always.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Unless it's somebody that's speaking with a really heavy accent or something. Thanks, Heidi, for sending the link. If you can, even post it in the group for people if they may want to look it up or find one themselves. So thank you for sharing. What was I going to say? Anyways,
by the way, I'm not making any money off that thing. I mean, if you want the book, go get it. If you don't,
you know what I mean? Like we promote stuff. I don't want people to think that we're doing like it's an unbiased.
Yeah, if Lorilei and I like something or someone, we're just automatically going to promote you. We don't care if you get
that's why I added that because I didn't want to say not sponsored. That's not where it was going. I just want
you all got to remember, everybody. There's enough of everything to go around. Spiritual people should not be in competition with each other. They should just be doing their thing.
Okay, so to this show, we talked a little bit about this on the Angel Rock on Monday night. And I am utterly fascinated by this lady in the left-hand corner with the gray hair and the glasses. And this is Beverly Rhodes. She's from the UK. She's blowing my mind with the stuff this lady can do. She had a horrific upbringing, was brought up in a very elite family, and I'll leave it at that. And if you don't know what that is, believe me, don't look into it because it's not pleasant. Anyways, she was able to heal from it. And she has incredible psychic gifts. She is a remote viewer and she works with the FBI, CIA, all these alphabet organizations with any type of law enforcement around the world if they ask her to be part of finding missing people, solving cold cases, solving anything you can think of. And she also does a lot of work with, as she calls them, off-worlders or extraterrestrials. And the girl with the pink hair, I don't know if you guys can see the arrow right here. Her name is Azria, I think Beckham. She is also from the UK and works with Beverly. Now, Azria, I was showing you guys on Monday night, anybody was at the Angel Rock, but she has this exact crystal here. Okay. It is selenite. I call it my unicorn horn. but it is made into, she told me, I think it's called a unifier. I asked her what the name was. She uses it as a pendulum and goes over all the different types of species that they believe that have been discovered as off-worlders. And she goes into not your physical DNA, but your lineage DNA of what type of off-worlder species you're made up of. Now, this gentleman on the left just explained things. This is Ron Swanson. He is a co-host on the Sean Atwood channel. That's where this was. I've been watching a lot of Sean Atwood. She now has a regular show, Beverly. And what she's talking about in this clip is Manchester Airport was shut down over last weekend because of, well, you'll see what it is. Some of you have already seen it. And then Kathy Hanley sent me another example of this that was caught on camera too. You'll see what I'm talking about, what this little thing is. Watch the runway. They're going to explain it here.
Get everyone's take on was yesterday and we will get to questions. We're going to get to the questions for 10 minutes and we're going. Okay, wow. It's a fact section of show because of how guilty I felt about the questions. Okay, so I have been, there's 24 saved. Okay, so that's a good time. So just keep getting your questions in. So Manchester airports shutdowns. What's going?
The off-worlders. What is this huge big blue sphere? I had a good look at it and I was alerted to it literally on the day that it happened, and we sent some footage directly to show what it was like. If you have a look underneath the plane, I think there was a really large sphere. That is also to do with the fact that they are watching us particularly.
Temporary flight suspensions and heightened security. The silent, glowing object, about 2 meters in diameter, hovered just a few inches above a runway, stunning airport staff and passengers.
You still there, Beverly?
Eyewitnesses described the sphere as otherworldly, with visible propulsion.
You should be able to see here it is. That's the main one. That's the blue sphere. Now, the blue spheres, when they come off the main craft, they're not actually drones, but what they are is their observation units. And what they do is they send energetically, they send all the images and information back. What they're looking for is actually like different types of weaponry or different types of energetic signatures of items that could cause humanity any problems. So it's not a surprise that this particular same type of sphere was also discovered and seen over one of the Manchester military bases. And at the same time, they were also seen in other areas across the world. And that then brings us to the other prediction, which was made by AI
and it didn't
in
happen.
1990, where the gentleman had said that he had felt that because there's certain spikes and there's certain temporal adjustments where there is a unit that takes place in our world, which in this case, it was the Joe Rogan Trump interview was the spike and was the trigger. And he was saying that this now will bring about all that we see with off-worlders sending drones and sending spheres and collecting information, because they are very concerned that there are certain organizations and countries that might be sailing very close to the wind, and they might also be verging on the border of a large-scale war.
Yeah,
this is why they're there. They're watching us.
Interesting. So all those people out there that are saying it's just drones, you're kind of right. Okay, it's just they're not our drones. Okay,
no, they're not ours.
I'm going to pause it for a sec because what I wanted to add, and I think it was in this podcast, there was some kind of, I thought she was referring to that prediction. There was a prediction made. I think they talk about it she was on yesterday. She has 2 shows a week on Sean Atwood's channel, that there was supposed to be some big galactic war, if you will, December the 3rd or December the 4th. That's what I was referring to. Didn't happen.
Oh, yeah, I just want to say something to you guys. Yeah, the war thing. I knew that was going to be fake. That dude, like when Lorilei laughed like that, I'm like, I did the same thing. It's like, what anyway, but what she is saying, and I'm not going to go back and talk about politics on here. You already heard what she said. There was a spike, and I already knew that. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I'm always listening out here. And there was a spike, and I agree with her for the most part. I agree with her. I think she's absolutely right. They do know something shifted here, so
there's more to this, Dave. Like, if you don't mind, if I say the last part, it'll go kind of along what she's talking about, more or less. Finish what you were saying, please. But I
just want to say, I agree that you. The only thing, and please, with all these alien videos out there and all this, please know this. This is what I can tell you from my heart for sure. Believe me or don't believe me. There is nothing to be afraid of from anything coming from the sky or the ocean. If you're going to be afraid of something, be afraid of the human beings here, because they are not here to hurt anybody. And all those fake videos are not doing anybody any good or any justice.
She does talk about a few species.
Well, there are.
Just let me finish. She talks about a few species that are not known to be good, but she also agrees with what you and I say, that within every species there are good and not so good. So she makes that proviso.
But I know, because like my guys are always talking to me, because I've asked a couple times, do I have to be worried about anything? They're always like, there is nobody coming here to harm anybody at this time.
She doesn't promote fear, but I think she's being honest.
Oh, she's not. I agree with her. I'm saying.
And what gave me peace of mind, and I say it to my son with autism because he worries about these things because he can read and write, not always understand. Yeah, and she's going to add this last little part, and I wanted to show Kathy's video that she shared.
Oh, cool.
Is that they're never going to let it get that far. Because it's not only going to affect us, it's going to affect the whole universe. So that's comforting to know.
I agree 100% on that one. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then she also mentions there was a crash in, I think it's Antholm, Sweden, of a UFO over that weekend as well that just passed. And 2 of the off-worlders, as she refers to them, sadly lost their lives. So she talks something about them being buried under a tree while the rest of the crew was trying to either fix the craft or they were waiting to be rescued. But I'll let her finish just her last little thoughts here. And then, because it's a fascinating podcast.
On the subject of that, Beverly, I'm just going to take
further into the podcast because he's just going to show some old footage from that was a light that sort of goes up and over the pyramids in Jerusalem, I think it is. So I'll post it in the group, you guys, because I wanted to show, because she did talk about that. Where you seen these blue spheres, and it did shut down Manchester Airport. Like the news was talking about it, everybody was talking about it. But she also said that Manchester wasn't the only place. There were other places around the world. So I want to thank Kathy Hanley Little because she sent this video, if that's okay to play it, Dave, because she found a clip. So give me a sec here.
Is it the one in Arizona?
Is that whatever one I sent you?
I think that's the one in Arizona.
And let me see if it's the one I sent you. I got to go to your space again because mine are lost here. Yeah, this is the one that's on Facebook. Okay, you're going to start. Okay, let's stop it. Oh, wait, it's not behaving here. Give me a sec, guys. I'm going to pause it. Of course, everybody's sending me messages. Hang on. Too many buttons to push here, you guys. Hang on one sec here. Facebook.
Everybody listening in front of Lorilei, it looks like she's flying a plane.
Okay, I wish I could make this.
Hi, Kasoon.
Oh, good. I can go back to the audio. What was that? Oh, Kasoon's here?
Yep.
Is Kasoon here?
Yep.
Here. That was seen in the UK. And that literally ignited the internet. Arizona. If you saw my video today, I posted regarding the recent surge of UFO sightings within the last 3 days. And now we have what looks like to be the Manchester Sphere here spotted near Lake Pleasant in Peoria, Arizona on December 1st by a woman named Ray. As I zoom in and pause this video, it really does look like the sphere. But the question still remains, why Arizona? We do have Luke Air Force Base, which is one of the main bases.
Oh, what do? That just went.
I have an update for you in regards to the Manchester metallic blue sphere that was seen in the UK and that literally ignited the internet. Whoa, we have a new sighting, and this is actually coming out of Arizona. If you saw my video today, I posted regarding the recent surge of UFO sightings within the last 3 days, and now we have what looks like to be the Manchester sphere here, spotted near Lake Pleasant in Peoria, Arizona on December 1st by a woman named Ray. As I zoom in and pause this video, it really does look like the sphere. But the question still remains, why Arizona? We do have Luke Air Force Base, which is one of the main bases here in the valley.
There, now it's back.
But that doesn't explain why this surge of UFO sightings across the state. What's going on? Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
There we go. I think we're done with it. There we go. So what'd you guys think of that? And I want to thank Kathy for sending that. I really appreciate that because, like I said,
it doesn't look like AI at all.
No, well, like I said, this because at first I thought, well, maybe this thing in Manchester
Arizona
was,
one.
No, but that's where I'm going with this. I thought maybe the one in Manchester was fake until I heard about it on the news and stuff. And then when Beverly was talking about this, she was saying there's more. They've been sort of in many places around the world. So I believe that one is what I'm trying to say. I think that one was part of the same. Yeah, I think it was part of the same thing. Mm-hmm.
Well, even if you watch different channelers, even like Bajard, he's always said there's been one huge ship hovering above our space of Arizona for years now.
Hi, Tina Gamboa. She's joined us on TikTok. Welcome. Nice to see you there. So, well, I don't know if you guys want to see this. There's not much to see with Augie's time resonator machine. Or I have some Bigfoot videos. You guys can ask questions too. We've got a bit of time.
If you guys want to ask questions, go right ahead. We've got like about a little under 15 minutes.
Yeah, or so. Yeah. Well, like I say, you know what? And it was interesting what I heard recently, and I have to agree that people always think that Halloween is when the veil is the thinnest. But I was listening to a few different people that are psychic mediums, and I have to agree. I think it still continues on right up until after Christmas. What do you think, Dave?
I think it continues on. Actually, I think maybe years ago, I agree. I think maybe years ago is probably close right around there where it seemed thinnest, but the veil is pretty much the veil between the spiritual side of us in here. Although, because I'm going to say, in my opinion, all the UFO-y things and all that are literally real, tangible, solid things that for some, can get here. I do agree that the veil, on the veil side, gosh, I know it goes into Christmas, but Lorilei, doesn't it seem like it's pretty open, like year-round nowadays?
It is, but then you wonder too, right? Like, is it because more and more people are being more open-minded about anything within the paranormal realm? Because it seems like people are talking about this more, and I don't think it's just because of television shows. Like, people are a lot more open-minded. People are sharing their experiences more, and is that what's making... You know what I mean? It's not a tulpa, but it's a more collective energy pulling that in.
Yeah, I get you. I understand what you mean. Yeah. Even like the alien things, I'll tell people, if you want the contact to hurry it up, then start believing and stop being afraid, and it'll happen faster. Because I was thinking about the other time when I was younger, I could see ghosts more. I saw ghosts more when I was younger than I do now, but I still see them now. But I thought, I was asking to my guides, and I'm like, why are you guys not coming around, all the time? It's like, because you were afraid. So nobody's going to show up if you're going to be afraid, because that defeats the whole purpose of talking with you. And I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense. So as a practice now, I've actually been saying, I'm cool if a ghost shows up now. I'm cool if an alien peeks his face in my window. I'm cool with that because I understand I'm going to have a fight or flight response to it no matter what. I'm just going to have to say, even though it's a fight or flight response, my guides and everything has always said, at least tell yourself, though, you're safe.
It's that plus, I've had this conversation with many people teaching is that people, and I ask these questions myself when I started following this path, is when's my third eye going to open? When am I going to see my guides or, see and know my guides? When am I going to be able to see spirits? When am I going to, or hear? And I've often said to people, are you really prepared for what you're asking? Yeah. Because if you're sitting alone in your room and all of a sudden you hear within I call it the mind's eye or the mind space, another voice or a voice outside your ears, how are you going to feel if you really hear that? And a lot of people, or sometimes it doesn't always happen. Okay, but I've had people sometimes where somebody's been saying an accident, they don't realize it happened very quickly. Sometimes I know people that have seen spirit that sometimes isn't healed yet. We'll say they haven't crossed over, they're earthbound. Yeah. I said, how are you going to feel if you see that? And most people say, I never thought of that. And spirit knows us best. They don't want to scare us, I always say. So, you got to ask yourself that and be honest. Like you said, your guides knew you were freaked out by it. So that's why it wasn't happening. Now you're okay with it. And you're saying you're okay.
That is 100%, I think, true and accurate. Because even like when you go on investigations of paranormal people, it's like, if you have a fear of something all the time, it's either that's what's going to be brought to you, or it's not going to show up for you at all. You have to be open to everything, and you have to go, there's actually literally nothing here at this point.
Or be prepared.
Yeah, or be prepared. Yeah.
Because most people said, I never thought of that. Like most people, if you hear another voice or something like that, or you see something like that appear before your eyes, what are most of us going to think? Oh my God, I'm going crazy. Like, especially when someone else can see it or hear it. Right?
A couple nights ago, I got a little unnervy at something, and I don't mean this to sound scary, but actually it was for a minute. I actually I felt that little jolt, and you get that little jolt in your heart for a minute, but then I was like, oh, okay, everything's cool. I was in bed, I was watching TV, and I heard something downstairs, like right at the bottom of my steps. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and as I look around, I'm like, okay, all four of my cats are upstairs. And as soon as I realized that, I went, and I just stood there a minute and quiet. And all I said was, if there's something here, do not peek your head around that corner and freak me out. Just say hi first. But then nothing happened. Nothing. I don't know what it was. Something might have just fell downstairs. But I'll tell you, if it was something, it probably already knew it scared the hell out of me. So it wasn't going to show up at this point.
No, but that's good to know. Like Heidi is sharing, my dad has never spoken about anything. And in the last couple of years, he shared some stuff that has happened to him. And she said, I believe he had the thought that if he didn't acknowledge it, it didn't happen.
That's very true.
Like I say, and I love what Kathy shared here. Like she said, I've heard spirit every once in a while. It has never scared you. And you're prepared for that, maybe. And your guides, I think, know, like when I'll get a lot of people, and I know David does too, that they'll say, I experienced this, whatever it is. Do you think that was my dad or my mother or a relative or a loved one of some sort? And first of all, I always ask people, I know Dave does too, how did it make you feel?
Yeah.
And I was listening to this recently too, and I found it very helpful that I always ask the person, like, say they said they felt scared. And then I'd say, well, was, the fact that you think it probably was your loved one, what made you think that? Also, is that who they were in life? Like, were they kind of a joker, trickster, kind of like to spook you? No. Okay. But they still may be trying to get your attention. And if it's scaring you, you can say, please don't do that. It's scaring me. If you're trying to let me know you're here, there's better ways.
Yeah.
I also think our loved ones and our guides know us well enough. Like I always say, like your loved ones are not going to try and terrify you. They're just not. I don't think.
Yeah. Like I've asked, it took me a long time. And that's exactly what you said. When when I do like sitting in the power or something in the beginning of the day before I do mediumship readings, or when I'm doing a mediumship reading, I always ask them to come closer than they ever have before. And they used to come in and give me a tingle or something, and it used to, I'd used to jump a little bit. Now that's what I expect. That's how I know they're there. I just feel it. So yeah, it's all about
making that connection, right? Christine, I think this is a great question you asked. I always had a question: why does Spirit say "get away, get out" literally in every investigation? Now, this is just my field of thought, and I know Dave's going to put his in. First of all, the interesting thing is, depending on the perspective of how you look at it, when you're communicating with the other side, it's always interesting if they can share with you what it looks like to them from their perspective. So say they see you entering their domain for whatever reason, and they don't want you there. You don't belong there. Maybe they've had the space to themselves forever, whatever it is. There's many reasons why. Why would you tell some stranger if they showed up in your house or your space? What are you going to tell them? Get out, get away. Not every spirit says that. And you got to remember it's TV. I can tell you just from having one episode, it didn't happen the way they showed it. So I think part of it is for effect, but you can have a spirit say go away or get out. And I could understand why. And that's just one reason. Go ahead, Dave. I know you got lots to
I agree with Lorilei. I'm sure there is I'm sure that it's been said, because I swear if I was a ghost and people kept coming in my house, I would say, get out. Okay, I would. But the other reason why do spirits say get away and get out literally in every investigation or things you watch on TV? Because it doesn't sell. If I made a video that said, because I've had plenty of wonderful ghost encounters, if I had a video that says, I call out Mary's name and Mary says, hi, and how you doing today? If it's happy, nobody wants to hear it. People love fear for some freaking reason. What Lorilei said is correct, though, and I agree. Why? Yes, there are ones that are going to say that, but also what she said, and listen to this, it's not every, it's only on really TV. It's not every one. It's
there's a channel on Saturday night on YouTube. It's paranormal. I forget what the title is. It's Dave and Ryan. And I don't always watch your show, but I love them because they will show you that lots of times nothing happens. It's not big. Okay, so you don't walk into a place and, it's like Mr. Tight T-shirt wearing, who I'm talking about, that everything's a demon and it's crazy. That's not what normally. I lived in a haunted house. I didn't have haunted activity 95, all the time, 24 hours a day. Sometimes we'd go weeks and they're not weeks, maybe about 2 weeks, and there'd be nothing. And then the more we talked about it, the more we focused on it. And I used to get PO'd when people would say to me, the more attention you bring to this and you talk about it, you focus on it, the more things are going to happen. They were right. Now, this is important here. And I know Dave's going to have an opinion on this too. Because soon also you're asking, or do they warn people about dark spirits? I don't think they should, because I know people that have gone in who are true investigators and show you exactly what they go through, have gone to very notoriously haunted places with supposedly all kinds of dark spirits. Nothing's happened. Plus, the other thing is, if you warn people that there's dark spirits, people are going to expect dark spirits. And then you get into tulpas and belief systems and telepathy and astral projection. And go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
No, I agree. Same thing Lorilei says. Do they warn people about dark spirits? Not everything's a dark spirit. And like she said, too, it all depends on the person, too. I mean, you really got to look at it this way. Okay, let's say me, Lorilei, and Carol, who doesn't know anything about ghosts or anything, and she went into a house to investigate with me and Lorilei. She might feel something and go, oh my God, this is terrible, because she's feeling it that way. And me and Lorilei might go, I don't feel it. It feels pretty good. And it could just be because that's her perception of something of the unknown. People like me, Lorilei, or anybody else is spiritual, we really don't have as much fright. We're not as frightened as much about the unknown anymore.
Plus, I think that you have the right. Like, I went with the group that we call the Voldemort group to one of their whatever retreats or whatever, and there was some crazy weird stuff going on there activity wise. We had some cool UFO things happen and whatever. But my point is, the person that I was talking to was kind of palling around with me. I guess they thought I was BSing them about what was going on in my house. And I stood up to it. And I was not cocky. I was not angry. But I told it needed to stop. I put positive energy out there, and they were marveling at this because they were scared crapless. And I go, well, fear feeds these things, first of all. I understand there's a fine line between, especially like I said, my partner Doll's been thrown 15 feet across the kitchen, but you need to know, and I believe this, I truly do, that we have, in a good way, dominion. And I believe, for me, it's God has granted us the right to be here. Now, are we the only thing? No, but I think that we have that power to stand in it. And like Heidi, you said, energy flows where attention goes. You raise your vibration. You stand in the power of, you have guides, you have angels, you have all this positive spirit, if you will, with you. And you stand and you say, no. And I'm telling you, it helped in my previous home. It helped a lot of stuff. We didn't get rid of everything, but it stopped a lot compared to where we were at the beginning.
It is your mindset too, because years ago, I had a lot more scary things happen to me. But you know why? As I gotten older, I've actually come to my senses that the only reason it was so scary to me before is because it was unknown. And now that it's known, none of that crap bothers me anymore.
I hate to tell you this, Dave, but we gotta go.
We gotta go. I know. I saw that. Oh, you guys. Anyway, we will be back next week. But anyway, where am I going with this? Oh yeah. Anyway, please join our Facebook group, The Thing at the Foot of the Bed, with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel. And remember that after December, we will be doing some lives. Lorilei and I will be doing some readings in there. If you would like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram or on TikTok, or Where the Sky is Blue, under Medium David Hanzel. Also, you can see my YouTube channel and my Facebook group called The Spirit Experience. If you want to know more about me or book a reading, you can go to theywhispertome.com. I never, ever PM people, and neither does Lorilei. So those are fakes. Go ahead, Lorilei.
Okay, guys, stay tuned, because second night of the Outer Realm is coming up with the amazing Michelle DeRoche. She's also our station manager, and her co-host, Amelia Pisano. So stay tuned for that. They always have a great show. I want to thank you all for being here. If you ever want to get a hold of me to book a reading, I do energy healing, crystal Reiki, Akashic Records, teaching and mentoring. You can get a hold of me right now on facebook.com/the Angel Rock. Like I said, I'm going to be having that course in the new year, and I hope to be putting together a domain name where we'll have the resin pieces I do and everything all in one space. Also, you can get a hold of me on any social media platform, either under Lorilei Potvin or the Angel Rock. Sometimes it has 1508 behind it. And I have two groups on Facebook too: Paranormal University for all things paranormal, Angel Rocker Tribe for more things spiritual. I also have a YouTube channel too called The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. We love you all. I have a new guest for you. I know I told you guys this on the Angel Rock on Monday night. Please forgive me. I want to say her name is Ellen. I can't remember, but she's going to be awesome. I know she is. Anyways, we love y'all, and we'll see you next week. Stay spooky.
Stay spooky, you guys. And you're ready? 1, 2, 3. What's at the foot of your bed?
Well, kinda.